So let's talk about the unsung heroes of our digital world, the guardians standing watch over our information. We're going to frame this as a kind of health checkup, but not for you or me, for the very systems we depend on every single day. But first, let me ask you a question. When you tap to pay, log into your banking app, or just shoot off an email, do you ever pause and think, is this actually secure? I mean, how safe is your information really? You see, behind every single click we make, there's this huge, incredibly complex system working in the background. Companies rely on them for, well, everything. But they can have weak spots. So who's double checking them? Who are the watchdogs making sure they're secure? That's what we're going to get into. Okay, so the best way to wrap your head around this whole topic is to think of it exactly like a digital health checkup for a company's technology. Think about it. We trust apps and websites with our most sensitive data every single day. And, just like a person can feel totally fine on the outside but have something going on under the surface, a company's tech can look slick and work perfectly while hiding some really serious vulnerabilities. Right, so if a system needs a checkup, who's the doctor in this scenario? Well, that's where something called an Information Systems Audit, or for short, an IS audit, comes into play. First off, let's figure out who the patient is. An information system isn't just a bunch of computers or code. No, it's the whole ecosystem, the hardware, the software, and just as important, the people and the processes they use to handle all that data. And what about the checkup itself? That's the audit. Now, there are two words here that are absolutely key. Systematic, which means it's a planned, thorough process, not just a random look around. And independent, which means the person doing it is unbiased. They're there to give an honest, objective opinion. So you put those two ideas together and boom, you've got the IS audit. It's basically a full-body scan for a company's tech. It looks at the automated stuff, the manual things people do, and this is critical, how all those pieces connect and talk to each other. Now, we've got to make a really important distinction here. An IS audit is not the same as, say, a financial audit that just happens to use Excel spreadsheets. An IS audit is focused specifically on the health and security of the tech system itself. The other is just a regular audit that's using a computer as a tool. Big difference. So, during this digital checkup, what is the doctor actually looking for? Well, they're on the hunt for risks. They're trying to diagnose potential problems. And it's so important to get this. IT risk isn't some nerdy problem that only the tech department has to worry about. No way. It's a fundamental part of a company's overall business risk, right up there with financial risk or operational risk. If the IT fails, the whole business can be in jeopardy. So what is IT risk? At its core, it's the potential for something bad to happen. It's the chance that some kind of threat, let's say a hacker, could take advantage of a vulnerability, like an unpatched piece of software, and cause some real damage. We're talking data breaches, stolen money, the whole 9 yards. Auditors actually break this down into 3 types of risk. First, you have inherent risk. Think of this like a genetic predisposition to a health problem. It's the risk that just exists naturally in the business. Then there's control risk. These are like your lifestyle choices. It's the risk that the defenses the company already has in place might fail. And finally, there's detection risk. The chance that the doctor's tests, the audit itself, might actually miss something important. Okay, so once the risks are diagnosed, what's next? Well, now we have to talk about treatment and prevention. It's time to build some strong digital defenses. And in the world of auditing, these defenses have a specific name: controls. Controls are just the rules, the procedures, the whole game plan a company puts in place to keep those risks low and to make sure business objectives are met. It's the prescription for a healthy system. And these controls usually come in 3 flavors. First, you've got preventative controls. These are like a vaccine. They stop problems before they even start. A firewall is a perfect example. Then you have detective controls. These are like a blood test. They find problems while they're happening. Think of an alarm that goes off when there's a security breach. And finally, you have corrective controls. This is the medicine you take after you're sick. It's how you fix the problem, like restoring your data from a backup after an attack. So we've gone through the checkup, the diagnosis, the treatment plan, which brings us to the biggest question of all. Why does any of this matter to you? Here's why. Because every single time you confidently use your banking app, buy something from an online store, or trust any digital service with your information, you are benefiting from this process. A good IS audit is what creates the trust and assurance that makes our digital economy possible. It's the bedrock of our confidence online. And there's a line from the source material that really nails it.
It says the whole point is to give reasonable assurance that a company can do what it needs to do and that bad things will either be stopped or found and fixed. That's it. That's the goal.
So the checkup is complete, the report's been filed, and the company has its results. But in a digital world that changes by the second, security is never, ever a one-and-done kind of deal. Which leaves us with one final, lingering question. The audit is over, so what happens now?